Welcome to History Adventuring. This is episode number 80. I'm Brad Hall, and today we're going to Dunkin' Donuts in modern time and in 1962, Phoenix, Arizona. It was a particularly beautiful morning today, and I decided to go for a ride with no particular place to go. I stopped for a coffee at Thunderbird Road and 83rd Avenue in Peoria, and since the Burger King was closed for remodeling, I went to Dunkin' Donuts across the street. As is typical of most of the places in Phoenix that have outdoor seating, even on a gorgeous day, with temperatures in the 70s, most people were sitting inside. I suppose the people in there, if they noticed me at all, knew that I hadn't lived in Phoenix all of my life. I spent a decade in Southern California, where I developed a taste for al fresco dining, and I sit outside every chance I get. So I had the outside all to myself, and as I sipped my coffee, the music blared in my ear, stopping every once in a while to do a commercial, which repeated so many times in the short period that I was there, it really was the main reason that I left. I heard over and over that Dunkin' Donuts began in 1950, and of course that got me thinking about whether I had a vintage picture of it in my collection from the Duke University, which I do. And here's the one that was on McDowell and 14th Street in 1962. And I know it was 1962 because there's a sign there that says that across the street. Looks like it was Christmas time too. As I look into the picture and step into it, I'm surprised by the term coffee bar. You don't see that term used anymore. I'm not surprised by that thing below the sign. It's a telephone. I'm old enough to remember that the only way that you could make a phone call when you were out and about was with a dime. I suppose back then if you went in there and asked for a coffee, they would just hand it to you. Today the cashier took my money and just smiled at me, assuming that I knew I was supposed to go pick it up on the other side of the room. These places get very crowded, and I understand that's the most efficient way to keep everything moving. I waited patiently for my coffee and had to confirm the person who had poured it that it was just what I ordered. I couldn't help but think how ridiculous it would have been in 1962 when I would have just sat at a counter and someone would walk over and put my coffee in front of me. I'm kind of thinking that I'd be called hun, but maybe not. I suppose in 1962, Dunkin' Donuts would have been considered fancy and flashy as compared to the little mom and pop coffee shops. It was a chain restaurant, and chains, like McDonald's, were catching on. That 1962 picture up there looks quaint to us now, but I'm sure that when it was new, a lot of old-timers wouldn't have thought of going into a place like that. They would stick with the coffee shops that had been there since before 1950. This has been History Adventuring. I'll talk to you later.